Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namah. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Vicharine Nirvisesha Shunyadi Paschatya Devatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. We will. Vidra asked Maitreya Muni, proved okay. Maitreya Muni for he has about 3 questions. How the Supreme Lord is affected by Maya? Is staying? Is he affected? And how the living entities caught up in this material world? For that, Maitreya gave very wonderful answer. And then Vidura is very happy with it. So he thanks him. Vidura said, "O powerful Lord, my all my doubts about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and living entity has been removed by your convincing words." So he gave the answers, question answers. The same questions are asked by different personalities in Bhagavatam, and different answer is given. Different answer means same answer at different levels. So here we got a very nice answer which we have discussed yesterday. Now my mind is now perfectly entering into them. And this is very important point also. To the degree we have to clean our mind. Chitta vritti nirda, what yoga says. And we say cheto darpan majanam, cleansing the mind. So mind indicates chitta, ahankar, buddhi and manas, all follow. So here, this is all learned say, your explanations are very good as they should be. Disturbance to the conditioned souls have no other basis than the movements of external energy of Lord. So this we have discussed. Say if in a dream I am suffering, then I am suffering, but it's a dream. It's not reality. As such, the soul does not suffer, and the ahankara is jada. It is also no suffering. But there is an illusion that is created of suffering. That is the main problem. We have to come out of that illusion. Soul is Sachidananda. Matter is dead. Then who suffers? The illusion caused because of this identification is the cause of suffering. Once you remove the illusion, there is no suffering. Like in a dream, are we suffering? Means yes, we are suffering. But really we are suffering? No. There is an experience of suffering. Like I'm, I am falling for a cliff, or I am writing my exams again of my college. Sometimes this nightmare comes. I have to go for exam. I feel so tensed. Suddenly I get up and say, "Oh, it's not me writing exam no more." So such nightmare is there, but as such, I am not writing exam. It's just a dream. You please understand this very nice point. Soul don't suffer, and false ego, the dead matter, don't suffer. Who suffers? There is an illusion of suffering. That is what is the cause. So disturbance to consequences have no other basis than the movements of external energy of Lord. So there is a creation by Maya. We have discussed. Both the lowest of the fools, this is a wonderful shloka. Both the lowest of fools and he who is transcendental to all intelligence enjoys happiness. Who are the two people? Who is completely fool? You don't understand anything. He is enjoying like an animal. Animals, you give some food, they are happy. Don't think anything. They say we are very happy. They don't start consulting each other and start understanding what is the purpose of life, why there are miseries in life. They don't. If a pet dog is there, pet cat is there, they're more than happy. They eat and sleep and then they just be with the master for some time. They don't try to go for some philosophical discussion, purpose of life. They're happy. And a person who is transcendental, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Sochati Na Kankshati, is also happy. Whereas persons in between them suffers material plans. Because this person is not affected by the delusion. The illusion is the cause of the suffering, that false illusions. But my dear sir, I am obliged to you because now I can understand that this material manifestation is without substance, although it appears real. I am confident that by serving your lotus feet, I'll be able to give up the false ideas. So only with the spiritual master, by serving a spiritual master, we identify as a servant of our spiritual master. We can give up our false identification, false ego in this material world, which is not possible otherwise. Only by mercy of spiritual master. We have to accept a spiritual master, accept him as our master, and try to render service unto him. He said, yes, you are my Swami, I am your servant, and all the things are in relation to our spiritual master. Prabhupada also write the same thing. The suffering of this we discussed today, but again I'm reading, it was nice. The suffering of conditions are superficial and has no intrinsic value. Like the cutting of one's head in a dream. Yet although this statement is theoretically true, it is very difficult for a common man or the neophyte on the transcendental path to realize practically. However, by serving the feet of great transcendentalists like Maitreya Muni and by constantly associating with them, one is able to give up the false idea that the soul suffers material pangs. It's clear, right? The next shloka also we read, by serving the feet of spiritual master, one is able to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is unchangeable enemy of Madhu demon, and whose service vanquishes one's material distress. So through the serving because we get what ego? Real ego. I am servant of Guru is little easy for us immediately. Servant of Krishna is tough. But servant of Guru is easy. For the pleasure of Guru, I am servant. I want to represent him nicely in all fields. In terms of my family, I want to represent as a servant of Guru. So I'll try to do family activities nicely so that my Guru will be pleased. He will not get any bad name. In my office, in my professional life, in my outside social life, everywhere, I try to be exemplary for the pleasure of my spiritual master. Become I am a servant. Like we go with tilak, dhoti, kurta, kantimala. People say this person is ISKCON. Now, if a person wears dhoti, kurta, kantimala, tilak, shika, and he goes to a hotel and eats, people say ISKCON people are coming and eating in a hotel. So he will not get the bad name. Institution will get the bad name. Because people identify, they are seeing us as we are followers of Prabhupada, we are ISKCON followers. Now, then we have to be very exemplary. When we are in this stress and all, we have to behave very properly. When we are in traveling, when we are whatever we are doing, people are observing. And the observing of what? Then I want to give good name to ISKCON and Prabhupada. So I behave properly. Right? Same thing everywhere. Purpose is the association of bona fide spiritual master like Sage Maitreya can be the absolute help in achieving transcendental attachment for the direct service of the Lord. So this is the important point. And then we discuss this one also. Persons whose austerity is meager can hardly obtain Durapai Elpatapsa Seva Vaikuntavathmasu Yatropagiyate Nityam Deva Deva Janardana. Very important verse. Persons whose austerity is meager can hardly obtain the service of pure devotees progressing on the path back to the kingdom of Godhead, the Vaikunthas. Very few people get the opportunity to associate with pure devotees because people don't get opportunity because whose austerities are meager. We have to, of course, sometimes devotees are very merciful. They go and give the association. Access to get association is very difficult because they don't have any austerities. And pure devotees engage 100% in glorifying the Supreme Lord, who is the Lord of the demigods and control of all living entities. Right? We have discussed here. We'll start from the 21st shloka. Chitvagre mahadadini sa vikaryan anukramat tebhyo virajam uddhartya tanno pravishat vibhuhu. After after creating the total material energy, the Mahat Tattva, and thereby manifesting the gigantic universal form with senses and sense organs, the Supreme Lord entered within it. Fully satisfied with the answers of sage Maitreya, Vidura wanted to understand the remaining portions of the creative functions of Lord, and he took the clues from the previous topic. Yamahur adhyam purusham sahasragra uru bhavukam yatra vishwa imi loka sa vikasam ta asate. Is the Purusha incarnation lying on the causal ocean is called the original Purusha in the material creation, and in his Virata form, in whom all the planets and other inhabitants live, he had many thousands of legs, thighs, and hands. The first Purusha is Karanadaksha Vishnu, the second Purusha is Garbhadaksha Vishnu, and the third person is Kshiradaksha Vishnu. So this is Yasmin Dashavidah Prana Shendriyartendriyastrivivrit Vairto Yasvarnastad Vibhutisvadasvanaha. O great Brahmana, you have told me that the gigantic Virat form and his sense objects and 10 kinds of life exist with 3 kinds of life vigor. Now, if you will kindly explain to me the different powers of the specific division. So, all these things are asked by Vidura. So, he wanted to know further about this universal form and creation. He says, we want to know about now 3 kinds of life vigor. He has heard about all this Virata form, his senses, sense objects, 10 kind of life. Explain different powers of the specific division. That is his requirement. And yatra putraischa nat tribhir sah gotrajah praja vichitra kritya asanyabhir ibdam tantam. O Lord, I think those persons manifested in the forms of sons, grandsons, and family members have spread all over the universe in different varieties of species. So here is asking about different powers of specific divisions, and is telling these powers manifest in form of sons, grandsons, family members, and spread all over the universe. प्रजापतीनांश्च पतिश्चल्पेतां प्रजापतीन् संसर्गांश्चैवानुसर्गांश्च मनोमन्वन्तरादिपान्. O Lord Brahmana, please describe how the leaders of all the demigods, namely Prajapati, Brahma, decided to establish various manus, the heads of the ages. Please also describe those manus and their descendants. So now, Vidura, he came to know about the universe. Now he want to know how the energies are spread in this universe. And he feels that these energies are spread as sons and grandsons. Say like, there are demigods there are many crores of demigods. So there are different controller of different powers also in one way. Fire god, sun god, water, that, all these are demigods. They have their own children and they control so many forms of energies of Lord in this. He wanted to know, and then he also wanted to know the leaders of all this humanity, like Prajapatis, the descendant of Manus, and how Brahma empowered them and who got what positions. So he want to know about universal politics. How Brahma created and what all post he made. And also because all these dynamics, by knowing, we are just basically doing one thing only. What? Krishna is Ashraya. Dashamasya Vishuddhartham, Namanamiha Lakshanam. All these 9 topics, this is about creation, Sarga, and now secondary creation. This is Visarga we are discussing. No, sorry. It is Sarga, primary creation, creation by Lord. Now, then after this comes Brahma's creation from 9th chapter onwards. How Brahma is created. So, basically, this is a creation done by the Supreme. This is primary creation. So, primary creation, secondary creation, Manvantara, Uti, all these things are meant to understand that how Krishna is Ashraya. He is our only maintenance. That's it. And this is the purpose. All these things that are explained here to make us take shelter of Krishna. Whole Bhagavatam is focusing and to that point. Uparyadascha ye loka bhuvairmaitratmaja sate tesham samstham pramanam cha bhurlokasya cha varnayah. The Vidra is asking, O son of Maitra, kindly describe how the planets are situated above the earth as well as underneath it. And also please mention their measurements as well as that of earthly planets. So he wanted to know now he saw the political structure, now you want to see geographical structure. So come Kasminno bhagavo vijanate sarvam idam vijanatam bhavanti. This Mundaka Upanishad says, this Vedic hymn declares emphatically that the devotee of Lord knows everything material and spiritual in relation with the Lord. Devotees are not simply emotional, as is ill-conceived by certain less intelligent men. Their direction is practical. They know everything that is and all the details of Lord's dominance over different creation. Triyanmanusham devanam srirshpad tattatorinam vadanaha sargasam daham grabhasvat dvijato obhidam. Also, please describe the living beings under the different classifications. Subhumans, humans, demigods, reptiles, those born of the embryo, those born of perspiration, those are twice born in the plants and vegetables. Kindly describe these generations and subdivisions also. So he understood the political situation, geographical situation. Now you want to know the demography. Demography and categories. You want to know, we are in India, we have caste census. You want to know the census and demography. So, Gunavatarayis Vishwasya Sargastya Apyashramaya Srajat Srivatsasya Vyachakshvodhara Vikramam. Please also describe the incarnations of material modes of nature, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwar. And please describe the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead along with these magnanimous activities. Now what you want to know? About the controlling deities of all these things, 3 things. And then he want to know the avatars, incarnations of the Lord who appeared in this world. Political situation, geographical situation, demography, census. You want to know the boss of all these people, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. And then you want to know about the Leelas of the Lord. So question is very simple. Varnashramam vibhagam cha rupa sila swabhavatah Rishinam janma karmana vedasya cha vikarshanam. Oh, great sage, kindly describe the divisions and orders of human society in terms of symptoms, behavior, and characteristics of mental equilibrium and sense control. Also, please describe the births of the great sages and the categorical divisions of the Vedas. Now, what is the question is asking? Divisions and orders of human society in terms of symptoms, like Varnashram symptoms, behavior and character and mental equilibrium, sense control. So, you want to do basically Varnashram. Also, please birth of great sages and the different categories of Vedas. You want to know about that. The four statuses of humans is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. So, these all we know it. And now, proper rating. Birth is not mentioned in this verse because birth is immaterial. So all these divisions are based on their characters, not on birth, very clearly mentioned. Vidura is famous in history as being born as a Shudrani mother, yet he is more than a Brahmana by qualification because he is seen here to be the disciple of a great sage Maitreya Muni. Unless one achieves at least the Brahminical qualifications, one cannot understand the Vedic hymns. Very important point. We need to first what to have Brahminical qualification. Nowadays, people are just reading Vedas, and some small children they'll show in foreign also they are learning Purusha Sukta, this, that, but they may recite like a machine or a parrot, but they never understand it. That is the point. To understand Vedas or Vedic mantra, first thing the qualification is person should get Gayatri. He should get this Gayatri mantra from a guru. And then take this Gayatri mantra and start chanting. By regularly chanting the Gayatri mantra 3 times a day and proper number, he will become qualified to understand Vedas. That's why Upanayana Samskara is given at the age of 7 years out only. Because from that time onwards, he starts studying the scriptures and eventually he will get that realization. But here, it is very clearly stated, oh no, that it is not because of birth. Yajnascha vitanani yogasya cha patah prabhu naishkarmyasya cha sankyasya tantram va bhagavatah smara. This sloka he is asking what question. Please also describe the expansions of different sacrifices. Very important. And the path of mystic power. This is sacrifice, path of sacrifice. This is path of mystic power. Go to Himalayas and do. Analytical study. This is jnana of knowledge. And devotional service with all their respective regulations. So here he has divided into 5 categories: sacrifices, mystic power, analytical study, and then loving service to the respective loving service to the Supreme Lord. Pashanda Pata Vaishamyam Priti Loma Niveshanam Jivayas Gatayo Yascha Yavatir Gunakarmajaha. Please also describe the imperfections and the contradictions of the faithless atheists, the situations of the crossbreeding, and the movements of the living entities in various species of life according to their particular modes of nature and work. You want to know about faithless atheists, the situation of crossbreeding. In crossbreeding, not in animals. This is crossbreeding in human beings. And crossbreeding means a Brahmana is marrying a Kshatriya, Kshatriya is marrying a Vaishya, or Shudra is marrying a Brahmana. They become crossbreed. So, and movements of living entity in various species of life according to their particular modes of nature. So the combination of living entity in different modes of mental nature is called crossbreeding. So combination of living entity of different modes, right? The faithless atheists do not believe in the existence of God, and thus their paths of philosophy are contradictory. Atheistic philosophers never agree with one another. Different species of life are evidence of varieties of mixtures of modes of material nature. Dharmartha kama mokshana nimittan avirodhatah vartaya dandanitescha srutasya cha vididam pathak vidhim praktak. Yet you also describe the non-contradictory cause of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, sarva. So you want to know about dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And also the different names of livelihood and progressive law and law and order mentioned in the revealed scriptures. So like that. So dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And he says, श्राद्धस्य च विधिं ब्रह्मन् पित्रां सर्गम् एव च ग्रह नक्षत्र ताराणां कालावन्वयव संस्थितम्. Now you want to know about, please explain the regulations of offering respects to the forefathers. Pinda Dan. The creation of Patal Loka and the time scheduled on the planets, stars, illuminaries along with their respective situations. So very exhaustive list of questions. The duration of days, nights, months, and years is different on the different planets, stars, and the highest planets like the moon and Venus have time measurements different from those of Earth. It is said the 6 months on this planet equals 1 day in the higher planet system. So in Bhagavad Gita, the duration of 1 day of Brahma is measured as 1,000 times 4 yugas. Like, so we know all these measurements. Danasya tapaso vapi icheshtham purush putrayo phalam pravasastasya yo dharma yascha purusham utapadi. So here she's asking further, please describe the fruitive activity of charity and penance, digging reserves of water. Please describe the situations of person who are away from home, and also the death of a man is always a vacant position. So here Vidra asked about different things about social structure, physical, geographical structure, and you want to know demography and then sensex. Then he asked about dharma, artha, kama, moksha. He asked about the Supreme Lord, why is avataras. He asked about the sages. He asked about the, of course, how manvantras are arranged. He also wanted to know. And then he wanted to know varnashrama dharma, right? And like that, he has a big list to ask. And now he is asking in this question. Yeah, O sinless one, because the personality of God is the control of all living entity, he is the father of all religion, and all those who are candidates for religious activity kindly describe how he can be completely satisfied. Now comes the main question. He says, okay, I have done all these things, or at least I know. But what exactly plays a supreme role? By charity or by varnashrama or digging wells or this, that? So Prabhupada is writing, all religious activities are meant ultimately to satisfy the Supreme Personality of God. The Lord is the father of all religious principles. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, 4 kinds of men, pious men, they approach the Lord in devotional service, and their devotion is mixed with material affection. But above them are pure devotees, whose devotion is not tainted by any material tanks of fruit work or speculative knowledge. Anuvartanam Sishyanam Putrans Chadvijottama Anaprishtam Api Bhruvo Gaurav Dina Vatsala. Guru Dina Vatsala. Is O best of the Brahmanas. So here comes, I think. Oh, whole chapter is questions only. Till last, yes. Till 41, he is asking questions. We are in 36. This is also very nice. Yeah. Oh, best among the Brahmanas, those who are spiritual masters are very kind to the needy. They are always kind to their followers, disciples, and sons. And without being asked by them, the spiritual master describes all that in is noble. So this is the duty of a spiritual master. That time, spiritual master used to stay outside happily in the skutia and disciples to go learn and come back. There are many subjects to be known from the bona fide spiritual master. The followers, disciples, and sons are all on the level of bona fide spiritual masters. And he is always kind to them and always speak to them and translate, even on those about which they do not ask him. This is the nature of bona fide spiritual. Tatvata Tatvatmanam Bhagavatastesham Kritidha Pratisankramaha Tatrevam Ka Upasinam Kau Svid Anusushrate Anushrerate. He says, please describe how many dissolutions there are for the elements of material nature and who survives of the dissolution to serve the Lord with while he is asleep. So these are two shlokas from Brahma Samhita, Karna Navajale Bhajastanu and Essay Karishwasaka. So these two translations. Prabhupada says, after dissolution of matter manifestation, the Lord and his kingdom beyond the causal ocean do not disappear, nor do the inhabitants of the Lord's associates. The association of Lord are far more numerous than the living entities who have been forgotten the Lord due to material association. The impersonal explanation of the word aham in the 4 verses of original Bhagavatam, aham eva sameva kre, is refuted here. The Lord and his eternal associates remain after the dissolution. This is what is explained here. And what are the truths regarding the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What are their identities? What are the specific values in the knowledge of the in the Vedas? And what are the necessities for the spiritual master and disciple? So, so much about spiritual master. He is himself glorifying, but he still want to know more about it. No, this is a nice, but the proper the living entity are constitutionally servitors of the Lord who can accept all kinds of service from everyone. It is clearly declared that the Lord is the supreme enjoyer of the benefits of all sacrifices and penances and proprietor of all that is manifested and the friends of all living entities. That is real identity. Therefore, when a living entity accepts the supreme proprietorship of Lord and acts in the attitude, he resumes his real identity. In order to elevate the living entity to this transcendental knowledge, there is necessity of spiritual association. Bona fide spiritual master desires that his disciples know the process of rendering transcendental service to Lord, and disciple must also know that he has to learn about the eternal relationship between God and the living entity. So this is the mutual. Spiritual master is giving and we have to reciprocate by receiving. Prabhupada says, to disseminate transcendental knowledge, one must retire from mundane activities on the strength of enlightenment in knowledge in terms of Vedic wisdom. That is the sum and substance of all questions in this verse. So that is the point. We'll just take two more. Nimittani cha tasyeha prokta nyanga suribihi Swato janam pumsam bhaktir vairagyam evasha. Spotless devotees of Lord have mentioned the source of such knowledge. How could one have knowledge of devotional service and determination without the help of such devotees? So, there are many inexperienced persons, Prabhupada writing nice point. There are many inexperienced persons who advocate self-realization without help of spiritual master. They decray the necessities of spiritual master and try to take his place themselves by propagating the theory that spiritual master is not necessary. Srimad Bhagavatam, however, does not approach this viewpoint. Even the greatest transcendental scholar Vyasadeva had been the spiritual master, and under the instruction of spiritual master Narada, he prepared the sublime literature Bhagavatam. Even Lord Chaitanya accepted spiritual master. Krishna accepted Sandipanamani, like that. And Krishna himself states in Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna accepted Krishna as spiritual master. And Prabhupada, and another section of this is about Shruti. Shruti are great scholars, but they may not always be Anagaha or spotless. The Anagaha Suri is one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Suris are great scholars. But they are not Anaga. They have learned, but they are not free from sin. But whereas devotees are free and equal with him are not Anaga Suris. Pure devotees have prepared many books of knowledge on the basis of authorized scriptures. Rupa Goswami and associates, under the instruction of Lord Chaitanya, have written many varieties of literature for the guidance of prospective devotees. Anyone who is very serious about raising himself to the standard of pure devotee of Lord must take advantage of those literature. So important. So if anybody asks the question, should we read the literatures of our acharyas, and Prabhupada is very, very clearly, anyone who is serious about raising himself to the standard of pure devotee of the Lord must take advantage of this literature. Finish. So if somebody asking, why are you reading so much other commentaries here, there? So Prabhupada himself, so in 3.7.39, you can remember the shloka number. Etan me prichitah Krishnam arhe karma vivartasya Harer karma vivartasya bhuli me jan yasha maitratva ajnanashta chakshushaha. My dear sage, I have put all these questions before you with a view to knowing the pastimes of the Hari, the personality of Godhead is dear to all. So kindly describe them all, those who have lost their vision. Vidura put forward many varieties of questions with a view to understand the principles of transcendental loving service Lord. As said in Bhagavad Gita, devotional service Lord is one, and the mind of the devotee is not diverted with the many branches of atmosphere. Vidura's proposal was not to be situated in the service of Lord, wherein one merges undivertedly. He claimed that the friendship of Maitreya was not because he was Maitreya's son, but because Maitreya was actually the friend of all who had lost their spiritual vision. We have two more shlokas. Sarve Vedescha Yajnaischa Tapodhanani Chanaga Jivabda Pradhanasya Na Kur Kaura Viran Kalamapi. O spotless one, your answers to all these questions will greatly illuminate from all material miseries. Such charity is greater than all Vedic charity, sacrifice, penance, etc. A very nice point. He's saying that the charity of knowledge is superior to charity of Vedic chatterers, sacrifices, penances, etc. Sarve Vedascha Yajnascha Tapodhanani Chanaga Jivabhya pradhanasya na kur virat kalan api. And the last one, Sisukavacha sa itam prashta purushana loka guru pradhanena muni pradhana pravritta Trisho Bhagavat Katayam Sochadistapam Prahasan Iva. Sukadeva Goswami said that the chief of the sages was always enthusiastic about describing topics regarding the personality of God. It began to narrate the descriptive explanations of the Puranas. Being so inspired by Mithra, Maitreya was very much enlivened by speaking on the transcendental activities of the Lord. The great sage Maitreya was always very enthusiastic about describing the transcendent activities of Lord Maitreya Muni. Being thus invited by Vidura to speak, appeared to be smiling because he actually felt transcendental bliss. This is the Bhaktivedanta purport, 3rd canto, 7th chapter. Yes, Shambhala.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranams. Prabhuji, Maitreya Muni is son of Mitra, it is given now, Prabhuji. Who is Mitra, Prabhuji?
Mitra and Varuna are two demigods, but whether he is same, I will check. Mataji.
So his father is Mitra, correct?
Yeah, it is said, but exactly who is he, I will find out. Mitra Varuna are two demigods, but I will find out.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Right. So tomorrow we'll meet. We'll start 8th chapter. So we completed 7 chapters.